What's up? Welcome back to the Metalhead Car Show. We are finally back from a vacation we got back from like a week ago. It's November 7th, and this is the first time I've actually sat down to go film a video for November, but I'm excited to be back. So I finally got to go see Iron Maiden's Future Past tour. I got to see them on the barrier with my wife in Quebec City, and I got to see them with two of my close friends in Montreal. So today I want to go over my thoughts on the Future Past tour itself, along with my experience with Iron Maiden's First to the Barrier. For those who don't know, First to the Barrier is kind of this lottery that Iron Maiden has on their fan club. If you have a floor ticket to any of the shows they're putting on that's not a festival, you can get a 15-minute head start to the barrier if you win. Now, anyone can enter for any city, but per show they let 60 people win and each person gets a +1. Now, this is actually the first time I got to take part in First to the Barrier. It's something I've kind of put my nose up to and kind of hated a little bit because I couldn't take part in it, but now they have fan club membership, I can take part in it, so I absolutely love it. Funny how it works, right? So my wife and I plan to get to the Videotron Center in Quebec City about an hour or so early to make sure we are on time for First to the Barrier. Now, what we were told, Iron Maiden's crew is going to start doing queues and get everything ready for the First to the Barrier members at 5:30. And everyone would be let into the venue at 6:15. Now, we showed up at 4:30. We had some awful weather getting there. I'm kind of glad we didn't go any earlier. If it was beautiful out, I would have went hours earlier, but that's just not the world we live in. We live in October, November, where it's +19 right now, but a week and a half ago, we were in a snowstorm. But nonetheless, we saw some people got their wristbands a little bit early, and we didn't actually get our wristbands till we were actually in the venue. And we're pretty concerned at first because all the doors opened at the same time. So we figured like, oh no, this isn't happening, or this might not be happening. Because by 6:30, the doors were just opening, we haven't got our wristbands, and the doors for general admission were also opening at the same time. So we got in, we eventually got our wristbands, we were inside, we waited in the stairwell for about 15-20 minutes, and then we were actually allowed into the arena. And like so, we got to the barrier, we got our spot, and we got a pretty good view of the show. We went over to the Yannick side, primarily because Yannick's just a lot of fun to watch. But would I say First to the Barrier is worth it? Absolutely. If you want to go and see Iron Maiden on the barrier, this is really your only option. And as I mentioned, you need to be on the Iron Maiden fan club to take part in First to the Barrier. And you might be thinking, well, okay, fine, but that's so much more money. It is more money, but it's $50 a year to be on the fan club. And First to the Barrier itself doesn't cost anything. You apply for it, you know about a week before the show if you won or not, and that's it. There's no additional fee for First to the Barrier. So, despite the venue was running a little bit late because I think Iron Maiden's been doing double sound checks because I think they're running a new in-ear monitor system. It was running a little bit late, but I'm not going to say it's exactly the venue's fault. I think First to the Barrier is absolutely worth it. If you want to go see Iron Maiden on the barrier, this is how you do it. Also, at the end of the Quebec City show, I got an email from Iron Maiden saying that I could buy posters of the Quebec City show. They showed 2 prints, and it was like $55. It's on the screen right now. And I just thought that was cool. Because yes, it's the band trying to get a little bit more money out of you. I know. But I wish I had access to this on the Legacy of the Beast tour, because Iron Maiden played in Ottawa, which is where I'm based, and it was the first time they were in Ottawa in like 12 years, so it was a treat to see them there. So if I could get a Legacy of the Beast poster that said Ottawa on it, I'd be super happy with that. But I didn't. But with that, how was the show? Brilliant. Seeing the guys on stage still have a lot of fun, still moving around like they're young, still sounding amazing is such a happy thing to see. Like one of my friends that went with me to the Montreal show, it was his first time seeing Iron Maiden since 2010. And he said, the boys are looking a little old, but also they haven't slowed down, they haven't stopped, they're moving just as well as they did back in 2010. And he's right. Look at Yannick go, look at Steve go, look at Bruce go. Like, nobody's slowed down. I'm not going to say this about Dave because A, Dave was never really that quick. B, Dave's just on stage loving life. He can go slow if he wants. And like, sure, you can move and bounce around and have fun on stage, but like, are they still tight? Absolutely. I had this moment watching Iron Maiden do Hell on Earth in Montreal, and it was just an awe when they were going through the chorus of Hell on Earth. There's so much going on in that chorus, and the vocal parts are so demanding, and they were absolutely killing it. Like, it was so impressive to watch. And I gotta say, seeing Caught Somewhere in Time as an opening song was incredible. It's probably my new favorite opening song I've seen Iron Maiden do. As for the rest of the set, it's so well balanced out. Like, there's only one song I didn't really care about on the set, and I'll get to that later. But it's so well balanced. So to go over the set list again, it's Caught Somewhere in Time, Stranger to Strangeland, which you're going from this really high energy 7.5 minute song like Caught Somewhere in Time into something a bit slower, a bit more mid-tempo, heavier, like Stranger to Strangeland. And I think it's partially, well, it worked well in the set list, but partially to give Nico a little bit of a break. But again, it worked great. Moving on to some of the newer songs, they did The Writing on the Wall, Days of Future Past, and The Time Machine all in a row. I was curious to see how this was going to go, because let's face it, a lot of new fans poo-poo new material because of the fact it's new material. I was actually really excited for Writing on the Wall, like way more excited than I thought it was going to be. I love hearing that song live. Like, they speed it up a little bit, and they just make it so much fun to actually go watch. Before the show, I was kind of thinking, like, okay, well, we'll get that one out of the way, we'll get to some of the cooler songs of the set, and honestly, I love hearing Right on the Wall live. The one song I didn't really care about in the set, and it's kind of the only song I just didn't care about in the set, was Days of Future Past. Now, I respect the fact that it's in the set. I think playing the short song of the album in the set does make sense. But the intro sounds a little bit sloppy live, and it's just kind of the least intriguing song of the entire set. One of the very few songs in the set I wasn't upset to hear finish. The Time Machine, on the other hand, was just the complete opposite, though. They have the whole crowd engaged, they have the whole crowd bouncing, which is just so much fun to watch. And a lot of these vocal parts are just so cool to hear live. Like, the song's really grown on me on the album. It wasn't my favorite at first, but it's really grown on me. But hearing it live just solidified that just how cool it was. After that, we go into The Prisoner. Now, The Prisoner was cool for three reasons. One, it was the only Number of the Beast song on the set. Two, it was such a cool vibe change from what was just played to what was about to be played that it kind of fit so well. And three, as I've been discovering on the Iron Maiden forums right now, it was the bulk of the crowd's favorite song of the set. And after that, we go into Death of the Celts. Now, Death of the Celts has got a bad rep. A lot of people have referred to it as Death of the Crowd, and honestly, that's a load of shit. The entire time, you just had people moving around to the song. Nobody just died out in that song. And there are so many people on the forum saying that song got a bad rep. It was my favorite song of the night. And frankly, I get it. I do understand why some people might not love it live, but frankly, I'm going to go against that and say it was definitely my takeaway song of the night. It was definitely a song I went and listened to more afterwards, but it was a awesome choice for the set. I was on Team Parchment at first, but I don't know if Parchment would have been that fun live. So we're switching over to Team Death of the Celts. After Death of the Celts, we go into Can I Play With Madness? Now, Can I Play With Madness was the one song in the set I really didn't feel like needed to be there. I didn't feel like there needed to be a Seventh Son song, period, but I completely understand why it's there. It's this great transition between something long like Death of the Celts going into their more kind of experimental era, which eventually leads into Heaven Can Wait. Now, it was a lot of fun seeing Heaven Can Wait, because prior to this tour, I never got the chance to see it. So seeing them go through the song and seeing the gunfight between Eddie and Bruce was so much fun live. Like, completely unnecessary, but a lot of fun. I feel like the gunfight's there just due to COVID restrictions that were likely still in existence when this tour started. They probably couldn't have a whole lot of people on stage like they used to. So doing this gunfight kind of made up for that. And then we go into Alexander the Great. Now, Alexander the Great was kind of a weird thing because I loved it. My wife loved hearing it, but the crowd didn't go off for Alexander the Great as much as it did for other songs. It's not that no one went off for it. It's not that no one cared about it, but it definitely wasn't the number one song of the set for everyone. And like some people are going to comment saying like, well, not number one song for the normies, but the hardcore fans, absolutely. That's not true. Again, on the Iron Maiden forum, I actually have a little questionnaire going up saying, what was your favorite song of the Future Past tour? And not everyone's saying Alexander the Great. Like, these are the people paying to be there, and even they don't think Alexander the Great was number one. It was incredible to hear live. I sang every single word to it. I'm not 100% sure my throat is fixed quite yet since the show, but it was amazing. I loved it. I just wish it got a bit of a better reaction than it did. After that, we go into Fear of the Dark and Iron Maiden. Those songs go exactly as you think they do. People love the eddies. People sing along to Fear of the Dark. It's a great time. And then the encore starts and we get Hell on Earth. Now, alongside Caught Somewhere in Time, Hell on Earth was definitely my favorite song of the set. Like, it was incredible to watch them go through this super complicated song. And I'll say it, nothing hit harder than going from the soft, quiet parts of Hell on Earth to the distorted parts and the Irish dance guitar solos. But again, like, amazing song live. I hope we hear it at least one more time after the Future Past tour. And then after that, we get two more classics with The Trooper and Wasted Years. Having two short songs to wrap the setup was a really smart idea. The Trooper got people engaged again, but frankly, at the end of Hell on Earth, I started noticing with both Quebec City and Montreal, people started to die down a little bit. The crowd was starting to get a little tuckered out, but Trooper picked it back up, and Wasted Years closed it off with a lot of crowd interaction, a lot of sing-along with something a bit shorter and fun. So what do I think about the show? I loved the show. I don't know if it's my number one Maiden show I've ever seen in my life, but the Future Past tour was such an amazing time. Like, it was so refreshing to see Iron Maiden, but not hear a lot of the same kind of hits we see on the bulk of the tours. Being my favorite band, it's always such a treat to go see the boys on stage do their thing. It's crazy that this tour we started talking about almost 2 years ago, because this channel started on like October 29th or October 30th, 2022. And the first video we did was a Iron Maiden Future Past tour setlist speculation. We're now here at what's slowly becoming the end of the Future Past tour. Like, we went to go see the show, we loved it, but also I'm not seeing any more dates on it. Like, they're off to the southern states and then they're off to South America, and I just don't have tickets for that. So this tour we started talking about 2 years ago is on the way out, and we'll be done with it. We're doing one more Future Past tour video before the year's up, and then that'll be it for the Future Past tour. The era of the Future Past tour will be done, and we'll be moving on to the Run for Your Lives era, which will take on the next 2 years of this channel. But I'm going to close it off with this. If you have been pondering on the Iron Maiden fan club and First the Barrier, yes, it's worth it. Go do it. You will not regret it. And if Iron Maiden's coming to your city and you don't have tickets yet and you're pondering on it, do it. This show is so much fun. But anyways, we're going to wrap it up there. But I want to know, what do you think? Did you get the chance to see the Future Past tour? And what was your thoughts of the show of the Future Past tour when you got to see them? Let me know in the comments. Thank you all so much for watching. Like, subscribe, enjoy the view scene. I tend to post a couple times a week, and I'll see you later.